Hey guys, and welcome to my Hearthstone Battlegrounds guide for newbies video. So when I started playing Battlegrounds, I found it very hard to come across videos that were aimed at helping the newer players. That's why I decided to make a video of my own. Now assuming that you at least know the basics, let's start with the resource in the game, gold. You start with 3 gold, and each round you get 1 more until you reach a total of 10 gold. It is important to know that buying a minion will always cost you 3 gold, and selling a minion will give you back 1. There are a few exceptions, but for the moment, let's just stick to the basics. At any given point, the maximum gold you can reach is 10. That's why it is important in the later stages of the game to first buy a minion and then sell the minions that you don't want. At the first round of the game, you should be looking to buy the Alley Cat or the Murloc Tidehunter. The reason is that they summon a 1/1 token that can be sold later for 1 gold. On the second round, just upgrade your tavern for 4 gold. Once you get better, you could try some synergizing cards, but most of the time people upgrade their taverns and so should you. If you find something good, just freeze it for later. Third round. If you got a 1/1 token, now it's the time to sell it. That way you will have 6 gold and you will be able to buy 2 minions. By now you should be starting to create your strategy and basic synergies. I suggest not upgrading your tavern on the 4th round, as the 6 gold you have should be used to buy more minions and build up on what you have started in the previous round. Round 5. Upgrade your tavern for 4 gold. And from this point on, everything depends on the hero that you have and what synergies you can create. Build up on your strategy and don't be afraid to experiment. Now, something very important. Your minions will attack from the left to right, and the target will be chosen randomly if there are no taunts, of course. This means that you must be very careful how you position your minions. For example, if you're playing beasts, there is a card called Goldrin, the Great Wolf, that has a death rattle effect that gives your other beasts +4/+4. You want to put this card further to the left so it attacks and dies and gets you the buff. Another beast's example is trying to keep the Scavenging Hyena alive for as long as possible, as it gets a buff every time a beast dies. All of those are situational, but you get the idea. Just as a rule of thumb, have your death rattle minions die first so you get the beneficial effects, and keep your stackable buff minions alive for as long as possible. An important side note here is that if you have a death rattle that summons more minions, you should place it in a way that there is enough space for every minion that can be summoned to get summoned. This means that you should probably keep those further to the back so that their effect triggers when your board is cleared. Let me give a brief overview of the different tribes. A lot of balances and changes will surely come, so I will try to be as general as possible. The first one are the mechs. They're weaker in the early game and stronger in the late game. They rely heavily on divine shields and summons. A good potential carry synergy is using the junk bot and the security rover. The security rover will summon mechs that have taunt, and when they die, they will buff the junk bot. The next ones are the Murlocs. They're very strong in the early game, they lack power mid-game and gain power again in the late game. The reason for their lack of power in mid-game is that there are very few Murlocs in tiers 3 to 5. The late game strength comes from the Gentle Megasaur. It will adapt your Murlocs, meaning that they will all be buffed. Just try to get a golden copy of it, and in addition, you need to try and stack poison and divine shields. Demons. They can accumulate a lot of stats, but at the expense of HP. Your main demons are at tavern levels 3 and 5, so you should get there as fast as possible. Soul Juggler is a must up to the late game, where he becomes weaker, but if played correctly, your buffed up demons are now your win condition. Void Lord also works perfectly with the Soul Juggler, as he summons 3 demons with taunt. Beasts. They rely on in-combat summons and in-combat buffs. Board space must be managed very carefully, as it can either make or break the game. As demons, they lack divine shields and poison, so you must push through tier 6 in order to be viable in the late game. Mama Berry is a must, along with Cave Hydra. In addition, the Scavenging Hyena is your main carry, as it buffs up when your other beasts die. So you can imagine how beefed it can get if you combine it with Rat Pack and other summon tokens. The dragons are the in-between tribe. They are abundant in all tavern tiers, but the catch is that you need to find some dragons before others and that they are strong in numbers, meaning that they don't go well combined with the other tribes. Razor Gore, the Untamed, is a must, as if you have a board filled with dragons, it will provide an immense buff. Nadina the Red is a no-brainer too, if you manage to find her. The pirates are the newest addition to the pool, and they seem to be fast and aggressive with cards that attack instantaneously. In addition, they also alter your gold management, as they have cards that reduce the cost of upgrading your tavern, and cards that sell for 3 gold rather than 1. The Dread Admiral Eliza works great, as it buffs all your pirates whenever they attack. Basically, that's all regarding the general synergies for each tribe. Keep in mind that all players choose cards from the same card pool, and only 5 of the 6 tribes will be played each game. Now, let's look at some of the mechanics mentioned before, and I will show you how to use them. So the first one is Poison. It is a great counter to any beefed up minion, as it doesn't matter how much HP that minion has, 1 point of damage is always lethal. Combining it with Divine Shield is something that you should always try to do. For example, the Murlocs. Now speaking of Divine Shield, this can help keep your most important minions alive and allow them to deal double damage basically. It can be further combined with Taunt for added synergy, and actually the mechs use that a lot. An interesting mechanic is the Cleave. It's actually very OP in the late game, as a buffed Cave Hydra can kill 3 minions at once. It also counters Taunt and Divine Shields. I won't go into much detail regarding the starting heroes, because they are ever changing and I want this video to be helpful for as long as possible. As a beginner, you should try to pick a hero that synergizes with the tribe that you want to play. For example, Alexstrasza and Tisera work great with dragons, Fungomancer Flurgo works great with Murlocs, and Lord Jaraxxus with demons. So that's all for now, guys. I hope that this video helped you understand a little better the concepts of the game. Come say hi to my Twitch stream. I stream all kinds of games there, and I would love for you to join me. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!